Thank you. And so we're all aware of how this administration impacts the Black community, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. And we know that his agenda, immediately, right away, has been to target any and everything Black. For example, right now, the Smithsonian, the BLM Plaza being ripped up, removing Black heroes from military websites, banning DEI, the list goes on. And we all knew this was going to happen, but I think this is far worse than I could have ever imagined. Oh. So I'm going to speak a little louder. So I can't even express the horror I feel about this, but I think we need to feel that, to be moved, to get out here and not underreact. You know, I see the Nazi salutes, and recently, I don't know how many people have seen the quote by the Republican Congressman Keith Self. He quoted Joseph Goebbels. That was Hitler's prime minister for public propaganda. He stated, "It is the absolute right of the state to supervise the formation of public opinion." And I think that may be what we're discussing here. That's Keith Self. Joseph Goebbels' goal was to convince the German people to support Hitler's regime. I mean, come on, this is insane. So there's no question about how corrupt, racist, and discriminatory this administration is, but the question is, how do we fight it? And by taking action, doing what we're doing today, rallying together, like this is important and significant. To see this, to feel this unity like this matters. So remember to contact, call, write, email your governor, Republican, and Democratic members. Indivisible.org is actually a great place to go. They have the awesome links and prompts for you guys to follow. And I wanted to quote Kwame Ture. He said, "In order for nonviolence to work, your opponent must have a conscience. The United States has none." This still rings true today, right now. Kwame said this during the Civil Rights Movement. This administration has no conscience, especially when it comes to the Black community. And it's scary because that's exactly how I feel. But this administration is not America. A third of the country voted for him. But there's so many of us, good people in Congress still, that can make a change. So it doesn't mean that we think nonviolent protests don't work. I think the Civil Rights Movement proved that it does. But it takes time and a lot of effort and consistency and unity. And we have to be strategic. Just like the Montgomery boycott, bus boycott made an impact. Today, the boycotts are making an impact. And I want to encourage everyone to participate in this boycott, started by the People's Union USA. There is power in how we spend our money. Be intentional with where you shop. Target's stock price has declined. And we are now in the Walmart blackout till the 14th. But why not forever? I mean, they're backing out of DEI. And then I want to acknowledge Cory Booker. He is a good example of a strategic and peaceful protest that is significant. Cory Booker's protest recently on the Senate floor of New Jersey on April 1st. He stood on the Senate floor and spoke for 25 hours and 5 minutes. Delivering the longest floor speech in the history of the U.S. Senate. Some people are asking, okay, well, what does this do? It was a stand-in, a protest. He is uplifting the American voices and calling out corruption with facts. This protest will be recorded in the congressional record forever and proves that there was resistance. What we saw was democracy in action. He broke the record of Senator Strom Thurmond, who was protesting the Civil Rights Act of 1957. This black man took the floor and broke the record of a racist who fought to keep people like him from being in the Senate. So there are good people fighting. Let's be loud in solidarity and use our spending, our dollars as power to fight, resist, and make change. And I also want to plug the Black Nile app because we have been boycotting Amazon. It is like Black Amazon, but it's not Amazon. So you can find that on Southwest Movement for Black Lives on Facebook, how to download that app and shop black businesses. And also again, to close, to remind you guys of what Karen said a second ago, Juneteenth. We work really hard to provide the Juneteenth celebration here in town. It should be celebrated just as much as 4th of July. So I want to see everybody out here. It'd be great if we could have this at Juneteenth. That is resistance. Celebrating Juneteenth is resistance. So please come out and support us.